Allied forces began to speak out, to begin to break out of their position and set about their task to free France and Europe from the German forces. Exactly a week later, June the 27th, 1944, Ernst Gies was captured by American forces. His capture in Normandy then began a long trip with others, POWs, to Camp Bowie in Brownwood, Texas. He arrived at the railway station in Brownwood with hundreds of other POWs and were marched to Camp Bowie, where he would make his home for the next 2 years. Local people remember the distinct sound of the nail-clogged boots of the POWs as they marched from the railway station to Camp Bowie. Following the end of World War II, along with 79,000 other German POWs in Texas, Ernst Gies returned to Germany to work in his dad's butcher shop. And for 46 years, and 46 years later, now 68, he had a burning desire to return to America. He wrote to the Brownwood Bulletin, and Harriet Graves received his letter. He wanted to know all about what had happened to Camp Bowie and to Brownwood. Harriet remembered that my dad may have been at Camp Bowie in the same time frame that Ernst Gies, the same time frame as Ernst Gies. And my father, then First Lieutenant A.J. Turner, had returned from Okinawa and was a chaplain at Camp Bowie. Harriet contacted my dad, and he volunteered to write to Ernst. And when he did, he sent some pictures and invited Ernst to come to Brownwood. Ernst wasted no time. The following week, my dad answered the doorbell of his home on Oak Park Terrace to find Ernst Gies at his door. He had flown nonstop from Frankfurt to Houston, rented a car, drove to Brownwood, and found my dad. He didn't know a word of English. It was like an old homecoming week. Ernst, while a POW, worked in the mess hall and cleaned chapels, and that's where my dad and he crossed paths. And similarly, he said, I can remember my dad talking about his assignment at Camp Bowie and the fond memories of the POWs. They were friendly and they were trustworthy. They took pride in their work and were always on time. When it came time for Ernst to leave Brownwood a second time, he pulled from his luggage the POW shirt that you see here on display and that is also in the museum. And he gave that shirt to my dad. And after Ernst left, my dad asked me, what should I do with the shirt? And I told him it needed to be in our museum. And this is the story of this POW shirt that is displayed and that we see here in front of you.